Hi everyone. I wanted to show you something that I consider to be a real example of moral courage and integrity. Now, this article I read on MSN.com, but it appeared first on Global News, and it's titled, "We Were Wrong, Convicted U.S. Capitol Rioter Turns Down Trump Pardon." The article is by Michelle Butterfield. Let me just read it to you. So, while she was found guilty of storming the U.S. Capitol on Jan 6, 2021, alongside thousands of others, Pamela Hemphill is now standing out from the crowd by saying that she won't accept the pardon that was given to her by President Trump this week. Hemphill, 71-year-old from Boise, Idaho, was once known as the MAGA Granny after videos of her at the Capitol circulated online explaining her reasoning for rejecting the clemency granted by Trump, offered to more than 1,500 people charged with crimes from that day to the Idaho Statesman. So this is the famous attack on the Capitol, and Trump has pardoned these 1,500 criminals. Really, they're criminals because they attacked a federal building. They tried to disrupt democratic peaceful transfer of power, and they also attacked police officers. Okay. Now, we always hear from conservatives who have largely, acquiesced to Trump that people should have personal responsibility. But where is the personal responsibility here? And also, they call themselves pro-cop, and yet police officers were viciously attacked by these criminals on that day as they tried to protect the federal building, a federal building housing democratically elected representatives of the people. So the hypocrisy is really stunning. Let me just continue now. So accepting the pardon would be an insult to the Capitol Police officers, to the rule of law, and to our nation, she told the outlet. The Jan 6 criminals are trying to rewrite history by saying that it was not a riot, it wasn't an insurrection. I don't want to be part of their trying to rewrite what happened that day. I pleaded guilty because I was guilty, and accepting a pardon would also serve to contribute to their gaslighting and false narrative, she told the BBC in a separate interview. We were wrong that day, we broke the law, there should be no pardons. Hemphill was sentenced to 60 days in prison after pleading guilty to a misdemeanor charge in the attack. She was also handed 3 years of probation and ordered to pay a $500 fine. So that was the punishment that she got, and it's what Trump is now revoking. But she doesn't want to, accept Trump's pardon because she feels like she should have been punished. This is her. This is actually her in 2020 in front of the Idaho Capitol, but she, as I mentioned, participated in the Jan 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. She told the Statesman she plans to file a letter of rejection for Trump's pardon. She also said that she no longer supports Trump or believes his lie that the 2020 election was stolen. This is a lie that's still being repeated by GOP politicians and many pundits and many people in MAGA, the idea that Biden stole the election. Ironically, if anything, it was Trump who tried to steal the election. Even Trump's own campaign managers and lawyers testified to the bipartisan Jan 6 committee and admitted that Biden actually won the election. So, I lost my critical thinking, she told the New York Times, reflecting on her involvement in the riot and the larger movement. Now I know that it was a cult, and I was in a cult. That's exactly correct. At the time of her 2022 sentencing, she told the judge that she regrets everything she did and said that day at the Capitol. She said she had intended to film the protest, but got caught up in the movement or the moment. It was as if I was at a football game cheering the team on from the stands. I never should have been, or never should have left the stands in the first place. This is a photo showing some of the people who attacked the Capitol. Really a disgraceful, pathetic scene. And this is the sort of thing that happens in third world dictatorships where presidents get overthrown in coups, that sort of thing. It should never have happened in the greatest democracy that the world has ever known, the United States. This shattered America's record of peaceful transfer of power. This is a stain that's forever going to remain, and it's always going to be on Donald Trump, who instigated this, and then he did nothing to stop it once it started. So these people should all be absolutely ashamed of themselves, and so should anybody who supports the narrative that Trump is still pushing to this day. He still doesn't admit that Biden won in 2020. Rioters locked up for their roles on Jan 6 were released while judges began dismissing dozens of pending cases Tuesday after Trump's sweeping grant of clemency to anyone charged in the insurrection. Trump's order upended the largest prosecution in Justice Department history, freeing from prison people who were caught on camera viciously attacking police, as well as leaders of far-right extremist groups convicted of orchestrating violent plots to stop the peaceful transfer of power after his 2020 election loss. In other words, political terrorists. That's all they are. So I'm glad that this lady was able to see the error in her ways. She's actually displaying true moral courage, unlike the other people who are still lying about what they did or who refuse to use their critical thinking. Anyway, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.